Be More show. Coming through strong with that podcast flow. Sunday afternoon at 2 to 3 p.m. slot. Got the Interstate 95 Turnpike hot. When you tune in, they don't just entertain. They come with the message that presses the brain. Those other podcasts, they seem microscopic. Cause they're the big dogs that drop the hot topics. So sure, Be More dumb. You just stay ready for DJ Boom, Shaheem, and on Debbie. Put them together to the treacherous three. From the tri-state area to the DMV. So sit back, relax, get your Sundays on. On after morning, gone before dawn. Positive vibe that we hitting so strong. With this podcast show, you can't go wrong. So, here we go.
What's up, everybody? What's going on out there? We hope you're all keeping warm on this cold Sunday, but we are also glad you are here to join us once again on From the Shore to Be More. I am the one and only Shaheem.
The official DJ Boom here in the building.
Deborah Singletary, a.k.a. Aunt Debbie.
Look, Aunt Debbie
The one and only, that's right.
She came trying to find herself a date. Look at her. Look at all cute and cute.
I almost put on lashes, but
I would have
Shout
loved
out.
to have seen that.
Shout out to Aunt Debbie. She does look beautiful today. And I want to shout out to all the beautiful Black women in the world today. Also, I want to recognize, since we're talking about our people, tomorrow is Martin Luther King Day. So I definitely want to definitely want to take a minute, the time out to honor one of our heroes, Dr. Martin Luther King. I believe his birthday is actually on the 15th, but tomorrow we're going to celebrate, and it's going to be a beautiful day for our people. Yes, it is. So I hope everybody enjoy their day off. I, unfortunately, am going to be working. Yeah, that's just the nature of what I do. But to all of you fine people out there who have the day off, you guys enjoy.
I will. I'm one of the few that actually now has Mondays off, so I'm going to make every attempt to enjoy having the day off.
I'll be working, but I'll be working in the studio, which is always a pleasure for an artist.
Well, that's
Well,
a beautiful
it's
thing.
pleasure. It's not always a pleasure. It could be a struggle at times, but it's where I want to be.
I can't wait to see what you come up with.
So,
And in honor
what
of Dr. Martin Luther King Day, to all our people out there, if you have the time, why don't you volunteer? Give your time to help somebody else in need out there. That's a beautiful thing to do, to honor his memory. So if you have the time, people, take the time to do that. It's a good way to do it. Spend your day. And anyway, we are glad you're spending your Sunday here with us. And we're going to start our day off, our topic off, which is apologies. Sorry, not sorry, by saying we are sorry. We are sorry for the delay this afternoon.
Right.
Sorry for being late, everybody.
Well, I'm not. I don't care. No, I'm just playing.
There we go.
We're running around trying to make things happen, and here we are. But yeah, we apologize for the late. I'm sitting, twiddling your thumbs, waiting for the boss to come on.
Yeah, we listen, people. Behind the scenes, it's always a lot going on. We are busy people. We have our hands in a lot of things, but we'll talk about all of those things at the end of the show. Again, we're just glad that you're spending your Sunday with us.
Absolutely.
It's cold out, but it's a beautiful Sunday, and it's a great topic. Apologies can be difficult for people, depending on who you are, obviously. But there's a lot involved in saying you're sorry sometimes. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
Abundantly, I would agree.
Yeah. And I think that there's actually an art to apologizing. That very often people say, well, I'm sorry. They think they've done it, like they've
Mm.
apologized. But there's a way to apologize that takes in your acknowledgement that you have erred in some way, and you're going to take the high by apologizing. And that does not include, well, I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings. There should be no if when we apologize. We
Right.
should we ought to, the part of the art of apologizing is to know what you're apologizing for and to state it. I apologize. I'm sorry that I am constantly, that I missed the birthday party and I promised to bring the potato salad and I didn't. And I made things difficult for you and you had to go run to the store. I think we should say what we're apologizing for and not just, well, I'm sorry, or I'm sorry. But what are you sorry for? What are you apologizing for?
Mm.
Right.
Well said.
I couldn't agree. I couldn't agree more with that statement that you just made, because it's an empty apology. Basically, it's an empty sorry. It's
Mhm,
I'm gonna make them feel better by saying it, and I'm gonna continue doing what I'm doing.
mhm,
And so there's no acceptance of self awareness in a lot of apologies.
mhm,
To have to sit and face yourself and acknowledge that you did something that hurt someone. You see, I changed it from acknowledge you were wrong, because I don't like wrong and right all the time. Just acknowledging that you hurt someone, or something that you did bothered someone. To acknowledge that is hard for a lot of people. They can't face themselves. So that's what you will get. Well, then I'm sorry then. You know
Well,
what I mean?
well,
I'm sorry, but you always get on my nerves.
Right, 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 right,
well.
right.
To me,
But you're late, but you were late last week. you
right,
we
right.
can't be own our what it is we might be responsible for. And I don't think that apologizing is always about saying we're, I like that Boom doesn't like wrong. It's not always about saying that we're wrong, because we're not wrong. That's not our identity. But apologizing is also hearing what the other person is saying and
Mm.
feeding back to them. So, I have a niece who hadn't spoken to me in about 5 years, and I don't know what I did. I imagine I did something because I know I'm kind of feisty and stuff comes out my mouth. But but we're talking now, and I'm looking forward to what is it that upset you? I'm hoping that I can listen without being defensive,
It's time for the
without
healing.
without correcting her. Oh, wait a minute, I didn't say that. I'm hoping that I can let her get through her grievance if she still has it. She might have come to her senses and figured out what I was innocent. I hope to be able to sit and let her get through her defense, and it might be hurtful. It might be difficult for me, but I'm hoping that I can just sit and listen and empathize. Oh my God, oh God, that really sucks. Because
Well, I, I, I think that there's a difference between wanting to apologizing because you feel you have to. When you actually want to apologize, you're sincere about it. You really feel sorry. But when you're
mm,
apologizing because you feel you have to, it's not the same. It's not
mhm,
heartfelt. It's not heartfelt at all. You get the kind of reaction like the ones you guys just had. Oh, I'm just sorry. Whatever. You're doing it just to probably get through something, get past something, or just to please the other person. When
mm,
sincerely, you don't mean it. I think it's a good idea. Starting off the new year, it is still January 2023. For people to start maybe thinking about those apologies and apologizing to those people who you feel you may have seriously wronged in the past, even though at the moment you might have been upset and couldn't see or think clearly to see that maybe you might have caused some harm. Now it's time for reflection and maybe looking back and healing those relationships. So I'm glad to hear that you and your niece are speaking again. You know, a lot of people think of the New Year's as just nothing really at all. You know, doesn't really matter. But I think it's a reflection point. It's a time. It gives us a point to look back at the past year or even those past years. And again, moving forward, I think maybe 2023 can be about apologies for a lot of us.
You know, Shaheem, that's part of the 12 step, you know, that list of 12 steps when you're an alcoholic. One of
Oh, is
them,
it?
yes, it is. One of the steps, I don't know which number, is they call it make amends. Now, making amends is
You're right.
going a step further than apologizing, but I think we're in the same neighborhood because when you make amends, you're clearly demonstrating the difference between how you acted before and how you intend to behave moving forward. And oh my God, it takes courage to do that.
It does.
It takes a tremendous amount of courage
Mhm.
to do that. To again, we're talking about honestly sitting down and facing yourself. Like that is when people talk about scary movies and scary people and that is to me the single most scariest thing to do is to sit and be honest with yourself.
Oh, it is.
And acknowledge hurting, happy, it doesn't matter, that just acknowledging what you are responsible for.
I want to jump on that real fast. Boom. I don't mean to step on you, but I just want to make this point too. It's the hardest thing to do, but through my own experience, and maybe you people out there, my host can agree, it is the most refreshing thing in the world. It is so cleansing, is the word that I'm looking for. To get those emotions out your system. People out there watching, comment. We want you to comment on the show. This is a great topic, and this can start the healing or the cleansing for a lot of you people watching today.
Right.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that, Shaheem, because the purpose of an apology is to connect and reconnect with someone, and when we're not connected, we're not whole. So
No.
that's a powerful, the concept of it being healing, you said, and refreshing. Yeah.
Because I can understand. As a younger person, it was hard for me to apologize for anything. Of course, I was the know-it-all. I knew everything. You couldn't tell me anything. So I guess being stubborn was part of it. But I can admit now in my maturity now and look back and say that a lot of it had to do with pride. In a lot of instances, I was just too damn proud at that moment to admit that I was wrong, even though I knew clearly I was. Even though at that moment I clearly was wrong, I refused to apologize. There's a lot of emotion there, and pride being a strong one. Getting past those type of emotions, pride and things, is a tough thing to do, especially as a young person. These are things that we learn as we get older, obviously.
Oh, not especially if you're a young person.
Okay.
I say for all people, older people have a difficult time apologizing.
I think you're
Like,
right.
for example, I'd be curious, you guys are parents, and sometimes as parents, we may be called to apologize to our adult children for that we did them when they were little, right? And we can't just say, well, I was young, I didn't know.
Listen, I can't express more. I can't
Mhm.
express. I can't express enough how true that is, because I actually sat down with all three of my girls and did that. You know, there was a topic that came up where there was a lot of rift between some of my siblings and their children, and I just made the point, the reason why, because if there was a rift with me and mine, the reason why we were able to mend those fences is because I was able to acknowledge my role and what and how I made them feel. Whether that was my intention to make them feel this way or not, it doesn't matter. This is how it made them feel. So to disregard somebody's feelings, to disregard how they feel, if someone comes to you and say, you called me a chicken yesterday and that hurt my feelings, you're like, well, all I said was chicken. Da-da-da. You're dismissing how you made them feel. Yeah, yeah. To you, it's small, but to them, it was a big thing. You called them a chicken. You know why? Because when they was little, their brother and sister teased them, calling them chicken. And now when you said it, it just resonated with them again that they was chicken and it hurt their feelings. And they come to you and say, say, cool, you hurt my feelings last night and you called me chicken. I mean, all I said was chicken, man. Go ahead with that. That's not making them. That's not an apology. Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for calling you chicken. Then at the end of the day, I'm really not sorry. I'm saying it just to dismiss them, to give them whatever they think they need at that moment, and then life goes on. But I didn't do that with my children. So I literally had to sit down and listen to what they had to say, and acknowledge my role in why they felt the way that they felt or feel the way that they feel. So
Minimizing people's or dismissing people's feelings minimizes their sense of their own humanity.
Yes, it
And the
does.
other part of that, though, is don't give offense and don't take offense. So, and if you're in a relationship with, say, cool, boom, you you might have to learn that. I remember I was about to make some speech or some talk, and boom said a joke. I mean, it was so funny, but I also had an opportunity to not take offense, so therefore he doesn't have to apologize. And actually, I laughed right along. If it was that kind of show, I'd tell you what. So I think we also need to, guard against taking offense and then
Right.
to apologize all day, because they said I was old. You know what I mean? I have to say that's right, baby. And I look good.
We human beings, I think we're emotional creatures by nature. So a lot of these feelings are just naturally wrapped up in everything that we do. When it comes to apologizing to the kids, I didn't have to apologize to them as adults, because I made a practice of apologizing to them when they were children, when I felt that was wrong. When I felt I was wrong, to me that was important for a number of reasons. One was to demonstrate to them that, you know what, I'm a human being. I'm a human being. I didn't want to live under some umbrella trying to be some perfect parent. There's no such thing. So that pressure was out the window. And so when I felt I was wrong, and it was many times, there were many times I had to sit back, and then my kids will tell you, even when they were little kids, and I had to choke back my pride and say, you know what, I was wrong. I was wrong. I made a mistake there, and then talk it through with them. And so, because of little things like that, we have an incredible relationship to this day. Yeah, and it's not an easy thing to do for parents, and my way of parenting might not be for you. I get that. But that's just the way that I did things. I think people need to get out of this habit of thinking that we could be perfect parents. There is no such thing in my book, or in my opinion. If you disagree, it's fine for you to disagree. You can comment. I can take it. But in my book, people put too much pressure on themselves in that regard. We are human beings, and we have feelings too.
They put too much pressure on themselves. They put too much pressure on other people to be responsible for their feelings as well. You know,
Mm.
that's that take offense thing.
Hmm. Yeah, I got you.
You know, everything you say now they're offended, and now you feel like on W said you find yourself apologizing every 10 minutes for something. It's like, well, I didn't mean it that way. Da, 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 da. But well, listen, take accountability for the fact that you might be super emotional, or super sensitive, or whatever the case may be.
Mm.
And it comes from there. It comes from somewhere. I'm sure probably somewhere in childhood somebody made you feel incompetent or incapable or whatever. Um, Deal with those emotions. Go speak to somebody about that, because making somebody else accountable for your insecurities is unfair. Bottom
Mm.
line, it just is completely unfair. And you have people that are not afraid to apologize if they are 100% wrong, not wrong, but 100% hurt your feelings or whatever the case may be. But when
Mhm.
it's just every time you turn around, somebody, no, because she said I'm bald head. And no, because she said I got headphones on. And no, because they said it, da 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 da. Da. And then it's like, well, dang, every time you turn around, somebody bothering you every time you turn around. Like it is no acknowledgement of self. Like, so why does all these things bother you? Why are you bothered by these things? You know, so take time to explore your inner self. And that's a lot of things that we just don't do as adults, is take that time to explore your inner self and figure out why something bothers you so much. I remember Aunt Debbie talking about the music thing with my dad when she was trying to play the piano, and then he came, and now he the star of the show. You know what I mean? It's like,
Mm.
no, it's not. He didn't come and say, I'm gonna take her shine, but what he did hurt her feelings, but it came from somewhere. You know what I mean? So the boss coming and snatching away the project and giving it to somebody else took her back to that time. You know what I mean? So
Mm.
she can acknowledge that. She acknowledges where it came from. So and I think a lot of folks just don't take the time to do it. And I try to strive to do that pretty much every day.
But boom, I've got to say, I have goosebumps and tears in the back of my head to understand that you hurt me. And often that is all anybody ever wants, to be heard.
Mm.
And
Powerful.
you hurt me. And I feel like $1 million. And you're absolutely right. My brother, did not do anything to me. It was my own reaction. Oh my God. Oh my God. Thank you.
I'll be listening. I'll be trying.
Yeah.
I'll be trying. Again, that whole perception of I'm not perfect. I'm not. I don't even like hearing it now. To me, that's an excuse. I'm not perfect. So because you're not perfect, just keep doing stuff to, you know, not acknowledge
Mhm.
your shortcomings in life. That's what I'm gonna call it. Your shortcomings, you're just not gonna acknowledge it. You're just gonna simply dismiss it by saying, I'm not perfect.
Well, we live in a world now, and I'm sure that you guys have heard this before. We live in the society of cancel culture, is a term that I hear a lot. Um, and, do, and so, do you think that people today are more fragile than people in the past? Because it seems like people are constantly apologizing for everything these days. In the entertainment business, one slip of the lip, and you're gonna go on an apology campaign. I can bring up one recently that comes to mind to me when Kevin Hart was asked to host the Academy Awards, I believe it was. It came out that he made a gay slur or said something along that way to his son, and the news got out, and immediately people were all over him. They were all over him for it, and he had to end up backing out of the Oscars. You guys remember that?
I don't.
I do. And that's a good point. Because I kind of live a little bit concerned about the cancel culture because of the things that come out of my mouth, some of them on this show. But I'm going to be honest and take my chances, apologize if it's warranted. But yes, I think what they're doing, Shaheen, is making other people responsible for their feelings.
That's what Boom was
Like
saying.
so, like for example, the idea of they and them, your pronouns, he, she, they, or them. When I had a class not too long ago, I was always forgetting. And, so at one point I asked, if I call you a he and you are a they, do you
Mm.
know who you are? How am don't make me responsible. And me calling you by the right pronoun
Mm.
may not heal what, your identity. I appreciate and respect the effort. I didn't like being called girl in the 70s. I didn't like
Mm.
it when people called women chicks. So I certainly understand it, and I'm honoring it. I hope you guys hear that. But I'm
Mhm.
also saying that I am not responsible for your difficulties with your identity.
No.
I'm dealing with being 75, and I haven't had a cat call in a week now.
Right.
No,
Uh,
you,
wha-
And I hope I didn't dismiss myself by making a joke. So that's one of the
no,
things I
absolutely
do when
not.
I'm nervous. But
So,
I'm dealing with my identity. When people first started calling me Ma, I was like, "Who you calling Ma?" And it was like, ugh.
I had to do an event that made me aware of those that cancel culture, where they it was
mm.
an event for Lionel Richie down in DC. He was getting
Okay.
some award down in DC, and I was honored to be the DJ for that.
Wow.
And they prepped me on being on the microphone and what I can say. And they was like, you cannot say ladies and gentlemen. You have to say hello, folks, or hi, everyone. You can't say ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, we gonna da, da, da. So
Mm.
that took me aback a little bit. Like, I'm so used to saying ladies and gentlemen, the one and only DJ Boom, da 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 da. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm not
Yeah.
saying it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying ladies and gentlemen because I'm excluding somebody who's battling with their identity. I'm saying ladies and gentlemen because that's just what I say. So now being in this spotlight a little bit, I gotta watch
Mm.
how and what I say, because
Yeah.
if I say this certain thing here, now I done cause an uproar and nobody wants to
Yeah.
hire DJ Boom and blah 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 blah. That's just madness to me. When somebody took
Yeah.
the time to decide what they were going to do with their lives, and now I'm responsible for how they feel in this world. That's just amazing to me. But
It's a
Hmm.
different, it's a different world. It's a different world. I think I heard somebody say if some of the TV characters that were on TV back in the 70s existed now, they'd be in trouble all the time.
oh,
If you had characters like Archie Bunker and George Jefferson
it wouldn't happen.
doing TV in today's world, they would be apologizing all the time. you know,
Absolutely.
I think we do live in a little bit of a sensitive world. Um, as people are trying to fight for their rights, and rightfully so in some cases,
Rightfully so.
rightfully so in a lot of these cases, it's made us ultra sensitive about
Mm.
how we talk to each other now. And I think in a lot of cases, we're being dishonest about how we really feel about things in order to save someone's feelings or save having to apologize later for hurting someone's feelings. That's a little
Mhm.
weird space to be in, at least for me, I think,
Right.
and maybe for a lot of people. Uh,
Yeah, and I think it is an important reflection because the world is created by language, and I am
Interesting.
open to relanguaging the world. I think there is
Oh,
a lot of power in that. There was um in my day, it was to go from being colored to Negro to Black.
right.
So I think relanguaging is important. And so for that, I really appreciate the communities who are raising our consciousness about our perception of people through their
Right.
language. I do think that is important. And I just, however, if I slip because I'm so accustomed to it, I would appreciate it if you not take offense
Right.
and, cut me
Yes.
some.
I've said to people, I am not of this generation. You might hear things from my mouth that will offend you. I'm not quick to always apologize about that. Understand that I am who I am. But
Mhm,
believe this though. When I say something
mhm.
to you, I am sincere about it. So,
Yes. Yeah.
so if I felt that I offended you, and hurt you, uh, I will apologize sincerely. But don't look for an apology all the time from me because you're not going to get it. You're just simply not going to get it. I understand the world's changed, and I love what you said about read language. I think that's extremely important. That could be a topic in and of itself. I think that's clearly what it's
Mhm,
about perception and read language.
mhm,
Um, um,
mhm,
the words and things that we use in today's world.
mhm.
But I'm not from today's world, unfortunately. I come from a world
Yes,
where,
you are. You're alive. Don't even try to cop out.
yeah. But I wasn't raised in today's
Apologize.
generation. Is what I mean to
Apologize,
say.
Shaheen.
Eh,
Because I mean, okay, so I just tried to pull that. Sometimes I say, oh, I'm old, I can't remember the pronoun, but
Right,
I
right.
do. Look, our governments, sometimes we're asking governments to apologize for wrongdoing. The
Yes,
United States government has apologized to the Japanese for their
internment,
unlawful and immoral internment in
internment.
the whatever years, way back then. Was it the 40s? Whenever.
It was during World War II.
Church has been asked to apologize for the silence around sexual abuse. That many in the hierarchy knew what was going on
Right.
and said nothing and turned the other ear. And I think one of the popes, I made some notes, but I can't. They little, I can't see them. One of the popes did apologize, and the
Pope
Catholic
Benedict.
Church apologized for not stepping up when Jewish people were being
Yes.
persecuted. And
Yes.
and we're still waiting for reparations. I believe that there have been some apologies for the enslavement of Black people, but that this is not a one. Oh, we sorry. Okay, now next. I mean, that apologizing has to show up in the way the country is run. So rah rah for the people who are making a case for reparations for our ancestors who were enslaved,
For the
and
indigenous people,
and
I
we
want
and
I want to recognize them as well.
we experienced the trickle down of that enslavement, and people are always like, that was a long time ago. No, not in the way our communities have developed.
Mm. Well, the point I was trying to make earlier when I was speaking on the generations is that though I came up in a generation where, like I said, George Jefferson would call somebody a hunky on national TV, prime time national TV, and people would laugh. Nobody got offended.
Well, that was what they were trying to show, though. So that was cutting edge, and it was um, controversial. The
It was.
point of it was to show those people who act that way how they look. So not only did the Carol character, what was his name?
Archie Bunker.
Bunker.
Bunker show his ignorance. So did
Boy,
Mr. Jefferson.
did he?
So
he was
so
he was
through
terrible.
humor, we've learned to laugh at ourselves,
We learned to laugh
and,
at
and
ourselves.
yeah, and that's healthy.
Interesting. We
Mhm,
did learn to laugh at ourselves. Because
mhm,
like you said, Archie Bunker was one of the worst. I can remember him calling his son-in-law Pollock so many times. Oh man. Boy, you
mhm,
try that in today's world, boy, and they will
Done.
come after you.
Done. D-O-N-E, done. That's all it would be, done. And to me,
Seriously,
it's
seriously. So it is a fragile generation that we're living in now. Um, Again, like I said, I don't feel like I need to apologize for everything, and I'm sure you guys don't either. So how to survive? I mean, honestly, I think relanguaging that was important a point to make. Like I said, that's a whole show within itself. Um, but even in a world where, like you said, governments apologize, are giving apologies away too. Recently, I think it was last year, the United States government apologized to indigenous people for stealing their land, and they're trying to make things a little better for indigenous people in America now, which I think is a beautiful thing. These type of things could be healing in a lot of ways. These type of apologies and necessary if you want to be serious about starting the healing. Um, and and
yeah.
and and America, I think, and you got to chime in. I think America is a different country now. Um, More accepting. Even though sometimes we might step on each other's toes.
More accepting of what? I'm not
When I say
following.
accepting, I mean of each other, that I remember in the past. Where now you will see more mixed communities, more mixed couples than I've ever seen, mixed groups out to parties, uh, way more than I can remember as being when I was a young man. Things just seem to be a lot more separated.
yeah,
Uh,
definitely.
Oh, I see.
I know even in my profession now, and my circle of friends that I have, that wouldn't have been the thing, back then, having a gay man as my host, um, DJing countless lesbian weddings, and these are some of my close friends, that I associate with on a
right.
daily basis. So that camaraderie,
Mhm.
I've never had a biased eye towards anybody. I always looked at
Right.
people. I never really acknowledged black, white, Chinese. I just looked at people as people. I used to tell folks, if I fell in love with a green girl and she was green, then oh well, she green and I fell in love with her. Like you know, I was always
Right. Right.
I was always that kid, you know what I mean? So I really never acknowledged people as that. What I do is I make people responsible for them as individuals. So if my gay host got out of line, then I'm gonna make him responsible for getting out of line. Not all gay men now. Now all gay
Right.
men are just these trifling people that do this.
Mhm.
They just want to do
Yeah.
that. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna do that to him.
You know,
Or vice versa. Go ahead, Auntie.
well, I apologize for cutting across. So I'll skip my turn to show you that I'm really sincere.
Right.
And I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, I know.
Right.
It has it has to do with not seeing people's ethnicities, for example. I don't expect. I think it's part of our human need is to be seen.
Okay.
So I don't want to be seen as some, like oatmeal, like, you don't see me. I
Right.
want to be seen
Right.
as a black woman. For example, but it's the judgments that we make about things. So as I learn to be older, because this is new for me, um, don't expect people to see me as 21 years old, although it's not necessary to apologize to me before because you curse. And that's, that's sort of a judgment about me, like I'm old and I've never cursed before. And suddenly when I'm old, I'm a virgin again, and I've never, and I've never cursed. I am a virgin and I've never cursed, but that's beside the point. So but it's the judgments that we make against people
People, right?
that can be problematic. So,
Mm.
I want to recognize my Asian American friend. I enjoy the lilt of her voice. I wouldn't quite call it an accent, but she has a way of speaking that I find interesting, and the syntax of it is communicate something.
Well, I think representation above all is key. And you're seeing more communities represented in the bigger picture of America today than ever before. Not just the African American community, but the Latino community, the Asian community, the Indian community. So many communities are being represented now. And yeah. Latinx, okay. It's representation is key. Now that everybody's being represented, I think it gives us all a better opportunity to understand each other a little better. Now that being said, of course, we all know Kanye West has come out and said some pretty egregious things toward the Jewish community, maybe through a lack of understanding the community better or whatever. He said some things. The feeling is that he should come out and apologize to that community for the things he said.
I don't know what he said, but if he meant what he said, why should he apologize?
Oh, he sounds like he meant it.
So what do you want him to apologize for? So then all you're gonna do is get that watery apology, because he might do it just to save his career.
That's right. Boom.
Like, you're gonna get that watery apology. Apologize.
I'm glad you brought that up, because there's a reason why I brought this him up for that exact reason. Kyrie Irving also got caught up in a scandal concerning the Jewish community, and well, his was with the Post, but they're offended by some things, and at first he refused to apologize. Eventually, to save his career, he gave in. He was forced to apologize. Kanye has lost, I couldn't tell you how much money for not apologizing, where Kyrie took what I think a lot of people consider the smart road.
He's going to stand by his merits.
Apologize, and now is collecting those checks.
Right. Now, okay, so what is it? Because I forgot the term. I actually had to look it up to find out why is this such a big deal? And it was something based around the Jewish people.
For which one? For Kyrie or for Kanye?
Both of them.
Kanye said a couple of things.
No. They called it something. They called it
there was a term for it, is what you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Goodness. I actually had to look it up to see like what is so wrong with that? Oh my goodness, I can't stand the fact that I can't remember what they was calling it.
So you feel that Kyrie was right for apologizing, and do you feel Kanye is wrong for not apologizing?
So I'm gonna look at it like this, and I'm gonna use it because all three of us are black, and we're not gonna get offended on it.
Okay, go for it.
If I'm talking to the three of y'all, we're having this conversation, and I say, no, because that black girl with the big butt got on my nerves, right? The three of us are not going to get offended by it, but let's just say now, whoever's watching the show took it and they posted it on their page, and because I said the black girl with the big butt, now I've stereotyped black women with big butts.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So in that context, knowing that that's not the reason or the reasoning behind why I said that, if I needed to apologize, I would apologize. But if I had a sincere reason behind saying what I said, I'm going to stand by it. And I said what I said, and that's it. Own it.
You couldn't say the woman in the red dress?
Right, right.
You
That's what I'm
couldn't
saying.
say the woman with the gay lay on. Like if big butt was the only distinguishing characteristic, perhaps. But if I heard you say that, I'd say, "You talking about me?"
Well, on the whole Kyrie Kanye thing, I'm going to say what Dave Chappelle said. Dave Chappelle simply said, I stand by all my brothers and sisters in the Jewish community, and I denounce anti-Semitism in all of its
Hey, there
forms.
you go.
And that, Kanye, is how you buy yourself some time.
That's the word. Anti-Semitic. I
Of
was
course,
like,
he was making a joke
what?
about it, but that simple comment could have saved him a lot of money and a lot of bad press. Something as simple as that. Why is that so hard? Why is that simple apology so hard? Or that simple comment, that simple phrase so hard to say?
Well, because
Why?
if he meant it, so do you want the watery apology or do you want a sincere apology from him? Because if he meant what he said, then he said what he said and he's gonna stand by it. We
No.
don't have to agree that he's gonna stand by it, but he said what he said, he's gonna stand by it.
You heard me?
That's what it was called though, anti-Semitic. And I had to honestly look that up. I was like,
Anti-Semitic, yeah.
anti-Semitic comments. What is that? I literally was like, what is that? So I looked it up and saw that it was comments, derogatory comments around surrounding Jewish people.
Yeah.
But if that is someone's opinion, like, so now you're telling people they can't have an opinion. Everybody's gotta conform and be this everybody's the same brick. There's no separate brick. Everybody's the same brick. Everybody's got to like the same thing, eat the same thing, dress the same way. That's what it is.
Yeah, well, I think we're responsible for our opinions even when they're ignorant. And especially if we're in the public. I
In
don't
the
think we
public
can
space.
I don't think we can hide behind, well, that's my opinion, when a person's opinion is hurtful.
That's what I was looking for.
Yeah, I might want to dialogue and ask them, what are you saying and why? Because they may have experienced some trauma. Back in the 70s, I think Leonard Jeffries made a comment about Jewish people, which was historically correct. And he didn't use derogatory language, and I think they went for his head. But he can't say, well, that's my opinion. He had to be honest enough and say, this is why I say this. My intent isn't to abuse. My intent is to educate and raise consciousness.
The whole point I was trying to make, and thank you, Aunt Debbie, for that, was that in a public space, things are different. Words have meaning, but they're magnified more when you have the attentions of millions of people. And that raises the level of responsibility. Words do matter, and so do apologies. In that way, I felt that he should have stepped up and said something a lot more constructive than what he did. And then just take a posture.
If it was derogatory.
If it was derogatory, right.
So how does it work with the whole, since I was a kid, I've heard sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Yet that is the most untrue statement in today's society. And
it was untrue then, because I think we can all agree words hurt.
I guess. Yeah, I guess it depends.
Come on now.
I guess it depends on who you are. Whatever. Okay. I was in a situation where I was called a boy, by a white guy. So I could have made it a thing. I'm not giving him that power. That's what bugs me out with people. Like, we go through all this extra stuff and then we call ourselves powerful beings. No, you're not. You're just as weak as that leaf that fell off the tree. Because if somebody could say you got big lips and you get mad, you want to punch them in the face now because they said you got big lips. So what? So do you have big lips? Yeah. Okay. Why did that bother you?
That doesn't mean that you shouldn't have a response, or you feel, or your negative reaction to it isn't valid.
But you got to be responsible for your negative reaction. You got to be responsible for that.
You're absolutely right, and that's when you let that sucker have it.
So
Absolutely right.
now you deal with those consequences now.
You
And
know,
all of that came from he
oh
said
yeah,
you got big lips.
oh yeah. Words, hey, words have meaning, man.
That
There's
person
no
that
way
said you
around
got big lips ain't gonna be locked up. You're gonna be locked up because you took the high road and whooped his tail, and now he's injured or whatever the case may be. Right, the low road, and you beat him up now. Now he's injured, he's in the hospital, but you're in jail because he's not doing no time. They're not even gonna bring him to court because he said you got big lips. Did he touch you?
I never said I'd physically attacked him. I said I let him have it. That could mean a lot of things. That could mean a verbal lashing. That didn't mean a physical one. You took it that way.
No, what I'm
now
saying
I could use my words just as dangerously as anybody else.
Right. But again, it's only going to be effective if the person that you're using them against gives them power. Other than that, it's not effective. I don't care. I could care less what you're saying. Like the guy that said to me, he'll smack me like the bitch that I am. That's what he said.
Okay.
Am I a bitch? Hell no.
But
Not
what if that
far cry from it?
What if that comment was directed toward one of your children?
I don't know.
That's a different situation now, isn't it?
It is a different situation. But
yeah,
guess what?
Guess
what? What you're not going to do is try to catch me out there because I still got to stand on my morals and what I got to live for beyond what he said to my child. Now, in my younger years, yeah, you could have got me. But now at 48 years old, because he said smack you like the bitch, did he smack her? Did he put his hands on you? No, he said da da da. So now I went over there and I handled business and I did this to him and blah 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 because he said da 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 da. It's like, come on, I can't be a hypocrite teaching my children.
But naturally, as a man, as a father, you're first probably going to take offensive to it, like I believe most fathers would, and then that's going to send you on the defensive. However you choose to handle it is on you. But that immediately is going to send that person on the defense. Wouldn't you agree on Debbie?
As a young father,
I love you, men.
As a young father, I did do that. Let me tell you, somebody
you can't stay out of it.
Somebody told my daughter that they would, they'll smack a bitch. That's what he told her. I'll smack a bitch. So when they came home and they told me that, I said, okay, where is this person? Oh, he's still at work in the mall. Okay, so I went got me a nice fresh T-shirt. On the front of it, I wrote on the front, I said, I'm A on the front, and on the back, and I put it on the back on purpose. Bitch on the back. I went to him. Hey, he said yes. I put my arms up so he could read the words, I'm A, and I turned around so he could read the other word. My kid. Now,
so who you smack? Right.
You said
smack me.
I'm telling you I'm a bitch. I'm showing you that I'm one. And I turned my back to you. So you could go ahead and get that out.
So basically what you were saying is at that moment you were willing to go to jail.
Yes, as a young
okay.
Father, absolutely. No, but see, here's the thing though. I wouldn't have gone to jail because I wouldn't have put my hands on him. If he would have hit me, now I'm justified in whooping your ass. But
okay, I see you don't went through all the legal ramifications.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like I told that guy that said he would smack me like the bitch that I am. I said, I'm parked right here. When this is over, because I'm at work right now. But when this is over, I'm parked right there. You can meet me right there at that truck. Be right there. 15 minutes before it was over, he was gone. Never to be seen or heard from again.
Well, I for one,
I don't have to give nobody power like that. Nobody has power over me.
I for one wish the young person would have shown up just so he could have apologized. And that's what our show is about, folks, today. Apologies. Don't feel you're bigger. You're too big of a person.
He apologized to my daughter, just some FYI. He apologized.
No one out there should feel they're too big to apologize to someone when they feel they wronged them. I mean, sincerely. At the same time, I don't think any of us think that people should apologize for everything.
Right. Because some things are not done out of malicious intent. So
not all the time. No. Some things are done out of just misunderstanding.
Sometimes it's not so much I'm sorry that people want to hear. But they want to be heard in terms of how they felt. So if I have an opportunity to talk to when I talk to my niece more in depth, if I cannot, I don't have to be on a defensive, because if she felt some kind of way, no matter whether I did it or not, she needs me to hear that she was hurt,
Right.
and because I was there. And so I don't think I have to say I apologize. I could say, "Oh my God, oh my God, I do say things without thinking." And oh my God, I am so passionate that sometimes things fly out of my mouth that I'm not aware of. Yes, I was your boss, and this is what complicates that story. Yes, I was your boss, and I know I behaved in a way that was bossy, because and I can imagine that I often spoke in ways where you felt you couldn't be heard because of my attitude. Oh my goodness, that must have been hell for you.
Right. Right.
Maybe I didn't say something specific thing I'm being accused of, but I can listen. If it's somebody who's close to me. Now, if you're not close to me, chances are I may not, care as much. And
Right.
is cancel culture going to come after me for saying that? I mean, I may not care all the time, but if I hurt Shaheen's feelings, he matters to me, and I hope to have enough, um, um, you know, in courage to stand and listen and to acknowledge that he's hurt. At the very least, I acknowledge that.
Well said. Well said. And if cancel culture comes for you, I'm sure Boom will agree that we have your back.
That's what I'm counting on.
We have
Right.
That's
your
what
back.
I'm
Right.
counting
Absolutely.
on. I'm counting on that.
Well,
Absolutely.
before we start ending the show today, it was a great a conversation, by the way. Before we start ending the show, I want to say to everybody out there watching, all our fans, friends, family members, we want to make this year 2023 about you guys. And when I say what I mean when I say that is that we want you guys to contact us and reach out to us with suggestions on topics, on different shows and different things that you would like to see, because we don't want to make this year about us. We want to make it about you guys. So please reach out to us.
But Shaheen,
Yes.
didn't somebody suggest this to you? Apologies.
Yes, they did. A friend of
Yeah,
mine suggested this
yeah.
one
I thought that was a good. It
last
was a
week.
good
Yeah, yeah,
one.
it was good, and I thought it was good when they brought it up.
Mhm.
We want people to continue that. You can reach out to us in our comment sections during the show, or you can reach out to us at Shaheem at FromTheShoreToBeMore.info, or DJ Boom at FromTheShoreToBeMore.info, or you can contact us through our links, which we'll be leaving on at the end of the show. But reach out to us. We want to definitely make this year about you guys.
Let me keep talking.
All right. Again, it was a great topic. It was a great show. We really hope that you guys got something out of it. It was a beautiful way to spend the day. Boom, what you got coming up this week?
It's hard for me to say I'm sorry. I just want you to stay.
I actually have tomorrow off, which I'm really excited about.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Right. But then I'm back at it Tuesday at the Windsor Inn, Loafers on Wednesday. And then I have Thursdays off now, but I will be painting. I have a painting project that I have to do on Thursday. And then
okay.
Friday I'm back at I have a brand new venue that I started. The place hasn't even been open.
Yeah.
So I'm at a brand new spot. I'm excited to be the first and only DJ and I have that Friday and Saturday. And on Sunday, you know what I'll do from 2 to 3.
All right. Boom's got a busy week. What about you, Aunt Debbie? What you got coming up?
Oh, I have a show, an art exhibition coming up in the spring, and so
Oh,
I
okay.
recently, sold work, so I've got to make new work.
That's a
So that's
beautiful
what I'm
thing.
doing.
Congratulations.
I know that's
Congratulations.
right, Auntie.
What about you, Shaheen?
I got a lot of things going on, guys, behind the scenes mostly, but you'll soon see. Um, my song "Waitlist" will be available for sale February 1st, the beginning of Black History Month. So I'll be taking that. Thank you. So I'll be taking down my old SoundCloud page, my old Spotify page, and there will be new ones coming up. Everything will be for sale. But with that is coming out my new song. Produced by DJ Debonair Samir, featuring my nephew Kashir. It's called All Right Tonight. So they're going to be released as a package. Waitlist on one side and All Right Tonight on the other. So and a video. So it's a lot going on behind the scene. You can find everything that I have going on my new website, therealshaheem.com. Still building it. Still in the process. It's coming along good, but you'll be able to see everything that I'm involved in, new music videos, and all my events. So look for that.
I
Wow.
know that's right. One of the things I forgot to mention real quick, I
Yeah.
forgot that so every second Sunday, I do what I call Shut Up and Paint. It's a sip and paint.
Yes.
Because it's a silent sip and paint. So you got the silent headphones, blah, blah, blah. So we call it Shut Up and Paint. My whole concept is shut up and vibe. Anything that I do with the silent headphones is, that's the whole concept behind Shut Up. But it's the silent sip and paint. February 12th. Come on down.
Yes.
It doesn't matter where
Yes.
you are. New York, New Jersey, here in Baltimore, down in Virginia, doesn't matter where you are. Come on and check it out. One of these Sundays starts at 4:00. This next one will be downtown in the Canton area on February 12th. And of course, it's Valentine's Day theme. So if you got that special person with you, come on and bring them out. It's $50 for a couple, and the first drink is on us. So
there you
come on
go.
out, make it do what it do. February 12th. It'll be a flyer poster.
He meant bring them out.
Right. Bring you got that stuff for someone.
There you go.
I'm gonna help you out, Boom. Bring them out.
The hardest working DJ in the business. And I also want to remind everybody to catch the show on all streaming platforms. So if you're cruising in your car, whatever, the kids are getting on your nerves, you can find us. You can find us on all stream, Apple Music, Spotify, whatever. Just turn us on your way to work. Maybe you hating that job you going into tomorrow or on Tuesday. You might want to turn us on and find some comfort. All right. And don't forget to subscribe.
Like and subscribe to the page, ladies. Okay,
Please.
folks. I'm sorry. See how I was about to break that down again? Come on, folks. Like and subscribe to the page. Make it do what it need to be done. Nobody ain't got time for that. And my family has been watching. I have sent you an invite. Hopefully I sent it to everybody. Next year, I'm turning 50. The party will be in Costa Rica.
Yes,
I
it
would
is.
love for everybody to be there.
Oh,
So
it's not this year.
no, it's next year.
Oh, I think I can go.
Yeah, it's next year. It's 2024. So 3/24/24 is when I turn 50 on Sunday,
Oh,
which is the
okay.
day of my birth. I was
We
born
can
on the
start saving for that. All right.
There you go.
Absolutely. I will be posting what it will cost and all that good stuff as we go along, but I'm trying to get a idea of how many people are going to be coming so the travel agent can start getting some numbers together. So
Okay.
but that is for next year, 2024. So you got a whole year to get all your flying jitters out. I ain't gonna say no names, but you know what I mean. Get your flying jitters out.
I caught that.
Are you talking about me?
Nah, that was a shot at me. But we'll talk about that behind the scenes. Right
That's
now,
all
I
right
just want to
then.
thank everybody for spending that Sunday with us. I got to run because the Giants are taking on the Vikings in a very, very, very big NFL playoff game, and I got to run because I got to go get snacks. So I want to say thank you, everybody, for sharing your Sunday with us. It was a beautiful conversation, and we look forward to seeing you back here once again, Sunday, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. on From the Shore to Be More.